Powerful cyclone rips through Tonga Islands. At least one person is dead after powerful cyclone Ian plowed into Tonga's northern Hectares-Apai Islands, causing extensive damage and destroying houses. The full extent of the destruction began to emerge after communications were partially restored a day after Tonga's first Category 5 cyclone struck early yesterday morning. Initial reports yesterday said the cyclone had left minor damage. Ian was downgraded to a Category 4 cyclone late yesterday morning, but increased in intensity later in the day and was restored to the most severe rating of Category 5. By today there were reports of houses destroyed and trees flattened across the island chain, which is home to about 8,000 people and popular with tourists. Tonga's Director of Emergencies Livinia Ho said one person had died on Lafuka Island in the central Hectares-Apai group, where most of the islands had lost telephone contact. He did not know if the death toll was likely to rise. A circumflex, it's pretty bad, a circumflex, Ho said of the damage. A circumflex, by this evening, we'll have a much better picture of what's happened. A circumflex. Tabrahami Formula from Tonga's cell phone provider Digicel said his field officer in Hectares-Apai, Iazili Fonkalafi, reported widespread devastation. A circumflex, he told us that this was the worst ever damage from a cyclone. Most houses are flattened, roofs are off, trees and power lines are down. A circumflex. A circumflex Ian is still a Category 5 this morning. A circumflex. Ayazikola at the Fuamotu Tropical Cyclone Warning Center. The main island of Tongatapu in the south avoided the worst of the storm, with damage limited to some fallen trees, Mr. Aho said. The Tonga Navy was sending 2 patrol boats to Hectares-Apai, and the Matangi Tonga News website reported the government was considering overseas aid. Australia and New Zealand have had aircraft and emergency supplies on standby since the cyclone hit. New Zealand Foreign Affairs Minister Murray McCully said his country had sent a RNZ-FP-3 Orion aircraft, which arrived in Tonga this morning to assist with aerial assessments. Mr. McCully said further support would be considered when the full extent of the damage was clear. He said early reports suggested damage to buildings in Hectares-Apai, limited communications and power outages. A circumflex, our thoughts are with the people of Tonga as they begin to come to terms with the damage caused by this cyclone. A circumflex, Mr. McCully said. Oxfam New Zealand Executive Director Barry Coates said the organisation was preparing to send staff to Tonga within 48 hours to identify the most urgent needs for people. In Pangai, the capital of Hectares-Apai, one house was lifted and blown 50 meters, and many other dwellings have been badly damaged. A circumflex reports are still filtering in, but it is becoming clear that severe damage is likely. This is a crucial time to support our Tongan neighbours, a circumflex, Mr. Coates said.